guys. So I was asked to do a video about 5 things I wish I would have known before I started my photography business. So I broke it into 2 categories, one being photography and technique, so like a general basis of photography, and the second category being marketing and business related. So let me pull up my sheet here because I don't remember anything. So the first thing in business and marketing that I wish I would have known is how to run a freaking business. So I started my business in 2016. It wasn't a legal business. I had no clue what I was doing. I literally made it like a business, my Courtney Renee's photography, so that I could start a business page on Facebook and be legit. Okay, that was great. I did a few sessions here and there, nothing paid, nothing anything, mostly music photography, which is great and I wish I could still do. But with COVID, it's not a thing. So 2018, I really hit the ground running with my business. If I stutter over my words, I apologize. I'm using my camera right now, and I'm not used to not being able to see my face when I do a video, so I don't know what my face or hands are doing right now because I probably look stupid, but I don't care. It's whatever. I wish I would have learned like business terminology and just more about actual business because I'm still learning, and fine, it's a learning process no matter what you do, so great. But I wish I would have learned a little bit more about a business before I started a business. So if you're starting a business, any business, I recommend either Googling some business, like just Googling business in general, or getting a mentor who's done it, because I didn't do a mentorship. I mean, I've done like free stuff, and just because I haven't had the money to invest. So I really suggest, if you have the money to, definitely get a mentor. They will help a whole heck of a lot because legal business is a huge, huge thing. You definitely have to have a legal business. I finally have a legal business here in California, and I'm very proud of myself for doing so. So moving on to the next thing, marketing my photography better. I wish I would have actually marketed myself and did it the right way instead of just slapping a photo on Instagram or Facebook and saying, here it is. 2 reasons for that. One, it's not very professional to just slap a photo and say, taken here, or say 1 to 2 words about things. In my opinion, if I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh, they're a point and shoot photographer. They're not a professional photographer. They're taking a photo and they're throwing it on there. And I'm not, if you do that, I am not trying to offend you. That is just my opinion. What I I do now, and what I love seeing other photographers do, is talk to your people. Talk to your people and ask some questions about their day, or make a little story about the photo and the family that, just tell a story, because photos are stories. I 100% believe that, because every photo has a story, no matter what it is. So I really think that was one thing I wish I would have done in my business when I first started, is tell more stories about my photos and market myself in a way that's different, or a way that's appealing to other people. So learning tips and tricks about social media. I hated social media when I first started my business. I still am not a big fan of social media because of the crap that's on it. I think it's excellent for like keeping in contact with your family, or for work purposes, like business purposes, to get your name out there for music. But as far as all the other crap that goes with it, whatever, it's not my thing. But it is a necessary evil for a business. And I say that because 9 times out of 10, people are going to search for you on Instagram or search for you on Facebook. Yeah, they Google you, okay? You're going to get Googled, so be sure to be on Google Business. But if you're looking for a photographer, you're going to go to one of those 2 places, Facebook or Instagram. And Instagram is great because you have a whole grid. You can see what photos they took with just a swipe. Facebook's a little bit more wordy, so you're going to read a little bit more stuff about them. So learning more tips and tricks about Facebook and Instagram and just learning more stuff about it, I wish I would have done in the very beginning, because now that I'm doing it and doing the things that influencers or people who researched Instagram and Facebook and all the things, I've seen results. And I never would have said that a couple of years ago, because I wasn't doing the things that I should have been doing. I wasn't showing up on video like I'm doing now. I wasn't showing my face, which for a business, you have to show your face. I didn't do that. I do it now, and it's working. Stop comparing yourself to other photographers. That's number 3 on the business side of things. Comparing and contrasting your work to other people, fine. For a minute. It's fine for a minute, and then move on. Because if you continue to keep comparing yourself to somebody else, you're never going to think you're worthy. And that is how I felt until recently. I follow and I learned from a mentor and a photographer named Brooke Jefferson, and she is fantastic. Anyone who's listening to this as a photographer, go check her out, because she is phenomenal and she knows just about everything. And she told us in a course that I took from her, if somebody is making you feel uncomfortable or you are constantly comparing yourself to that person, remove them completely or mute them for a little while, because it's just not healthy to look at someone's photo and go, man, I wish my photos would get like that. Or, man, I bet she's completely booked up. I wonder, that's probably why I'm not getting booked up, because she's getting all my clients. That's not healthy. You definitely shouldn't do that. And yeah, we're all human. We're going to think that. We're going to say that. We're going to feel that. But as soon as you realize you're saying that, stop it. just stop it. I find myself doing that all the time. And once I figure out that I'm doing it, consciously figure out that I'm doing it, mute or unfollow, because those people are not who you want to surround. You want to surround yourself with people who, okay, let me step back. You can follow people you compare yourself to, but not unhealthily. If you're like, wow, she's way better than I'll ever be, and you're saying it negatively, you need to remove yourself, because you're never going to get better if you do that. And some people work that way. Some people will strive if you see someone better than you. That's great. But me personally, heck no. I get jealous, I get sad, and I know that's so petty and so dumb, but that's just how it is. So if I want to be surrounded by people who are either equal to me. That sounds terrible, but I can think that their work is phenomenal and not feel like I'm not worthy. And it's a whole mental thing. It's a total mental thing, and I I suck at it, and I wish I would have been better at it then, and I wish I was better at it now. So that's one thing that I'm still battling, and I think I'm going to battle forever, because that is one thing that is so hard from a photographer to another photographer. Is everyone's work is different. You have to remember that. Your client might think that someone else's work sucks, and you might think it's great. So everyone thinks everything's different. You cannot appeal to everybody. That's a big thing. All right, and it doesn't happen overnight. Never, ever think your business happens overnight. I wish I would have known that, a few years ago when I picked up my camera and started shooting and taking photos and editing, and then I put them on Facebook and Instagram and all the things, and I didn't get anything back. Well, why not? I just posted a photo. Why aren't people loving it? Why aren't people liking it? Why am I not getting a client the next day? Because it doesn't happen overnight. It takes multiple times for someone to see your photos or your work or see you to even care, because they scroll through so much a day. The average person scrolls through so many things a day on social media that you're going to get lost. If you keep showing up, that's when it's going to happen for you, and it's still taking its time to happen for me, and that's okay. A few years ago, I would have never thought that's okay. But now that I'm restarting my business in a new area, I realize, holy crap, it's hard. That I thought it was going to be easy. So that's another thing that I wish I would have, thought about is that it wasn't easy. It's never going to be easy to run your own business. And that's scary, I know, but it's so worth it, you guys. Don't ever let that hold you back. All right, so now moving on to techniques in journal photography, things that I wish I would have known. Number one, don't worry too much about prompts or poses. When I first started, I was so worried that, the person wasn't posed right, so it doesn't look right. Now, if the person's not posed and it's a candid photo, that's my favorite photo that's going to happen out of the whole session, because I like the more natural look when it comes to poses and prompts. I still do the, stand together and look at the camera and smile. I still do those because Grandma and Grandpa are always going to love those photos of kids. But personally, I feel the true memory and the true authenticity of the photo comes from those candid photos. So I wish I would have done that way long ago. Rather than just, I'll start with a few prompts and poses just to break the ice. But I never just let the kids do what they wanted to do. I would always, make sure that the kids were looking at me when they took the picture, because I thought that's what parents wanted. And now, with a little bit more experience, I realize they love the candid photos. They love the natural look of the kids or the pups or the, even the couples doing whatever in the photos, laughing at each other or, joking around, or the kids running around with a leaf. I mean, that's fun. It's so fun. And that's true, unique style. So, my second wish I would have done is make more time for creative sessions. Because those kind of sessions, those ones that you are not getting paid for, or maybe you are, depending on your business. But I don't charge for my creative sessions. What I do now is I just I do a model call for, a model or two, depending what I'm doing, and a makeup artist if they want to work with me, and go through a concept, go through a theme. Like I did a Harley Quinn and the Joker session, and that was by far my favorite session I've ever done. And I'm not saying that family sessions and couple sessions aren't my favorite, because I love them. I love every session that I do. I truly, truly do. But that creative sessions, those are for me. Those are for my creative style to go wild, and there's no limits. I have no limitations on those. My other ones are for my clients. Yes, they are for me as well, but they are for my clients. So it's what they want. There's just a difference. And so I wish when I started photography, I did those creative sessions at least once a month. That's what I'm doing now, and I will never look back, ever. Learn everything about my camera. I still am learning things about my camera. This is my third camera that I've had, and each one of them, I had no clue how to use half of the stuff. So I'm really, really pushing myself to learn something new about my camera all the time. I like video. I've never used the video function on this camera once until now. So that's new for me. And if this video is blurry or weird or whatever, I apologize, because I don't know what I'm doing with video. So it's all new to me, and it's out of my comfort zone. So I wish I would have. So I guess my wish one of my wishes is I wish I would have learned everything about my cameras, because I could have done a whole heck of a lot with them than I did. So learn everything about your camera when you can. Shoot in RAW. Don't shoot in JPEG. Up until about a year ago, I shot in JPEG. And when people said RAW, I didn't understand what they meant. So forgive me for my ignorance. And I'm very embarrassed to say that about a year ago, RAW was my first time shooting in RAW about a year ago. No, maybe like 2 years ago now. But Yeah, it's embarrassing, guys. If you're a professional photographer watching this, you're probably like, oh my god, that girl. No, RAW is so much better. I'll do a comparison video between JPEG and RAW, and you'll totally see the difference because RAW gives you so much more control over your editing at your post processing than JPEG. So definitely, if you're shooting in JPEG still, and you're a newer photographer or even an older photographer, stop it. Shoot in RAW. You'll thank me later. Yeah, so I think my next one, it's not just, this is kind of a different one. People go back and forth on this. So I wish when I was first starting out that I realized that it's not just about the gear that you have. I was always discouraged that I had a cheaper camera than someone else because I thought, man, I can't take good enough photos because my camera's not as good. Okay, no, that's true. Some cameras are just a hell of a lot better than others, but that doesn't mean your photos can't be good, because they can. Photography is a whole heck of a lot more than just the camera. It's the person who's taking the photos. It's the angles. It's the lighting. It's the atmosphere. It's knowing where to place your subject against the lighting, or knowing, there's just so much more to it than just your camera. Your camera helps. I know. I get it. Cameras, I have a Sony A7R3 and with a Sigma art lens, and I love it, and I'd never go back to anything else. Sony is my favorite, and I'm very Sony biased, so I had a Canon a long time ago, and yeah, I loved my Canon back then, but then I got a Sony, and now I love it even more. So don't ever think that because you can't afford an expensive camera that you can't be a photographer, because you can. All right. Thank you so much for listening to my rambles about what I wish I would have learned before I started photography. I am so excited to share more about photography and about my life with you guys. So please subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me. I am so new at this, so I'm a little shaky and a little nervous. So I appreciate your guys' support, and have a great day.